Hi, my name is Rachel Parkin Gonzaga, and I teach 8th grade English at Westport Middle School. I shadowed a student, an 8th grade boy student who I teach, who is very quiet in class, and who I wanted to get to know a little bit better because he is so quiet and sometimes withdrawn or sometimes just shy around his peers. And I'm assuming I'm just going to keep going and you can, okay. And so my experience, part of why I wanted to shadow him is because his class has a very different personality from him. They are very outgoing. Some students in the class change throughout the day, so when they're with me in English, they're missing some of the students that they'll have with them in the afternoon, and that can change some of their dynamics and when they're doing group work or different activities. And so I was thinking about my student that I was shadowing, but I was thinking about the class as a whole and how to help them feel more successful on days when they're struggling. And what I saw, I generally really did have a positive day. There were a lot of my students were trying to help me because in classes like science and social studies, I had not been learning about the different units that they were studying. And so I had a lot of students that were trying to help me remember different information, or they would explain to me different activities if I wasn't sure or wasn't used to doing them myself. So that was like a really lovely, beautiful thing to see. I also had students on other teams that would see me in the hallway and knew I was shadowing, and you could tell that they were inviting me to sit with them at breakfast before school. They were inviting me to sit with them at lunch. So it was a really nice day to just get to talk to the kids, and they were very open and honest about things that they would love to have changed. And it could be simple things like lunch to their opinions about different teachers from each class. And I would say probably the biggest takeaway for me was a difference and inconsistency amongst adults throughout the day. I would be with some teachers where the kids were engaged in doing activities for the full 50 minutes of the class period, and there were some classrooms where I was in where students were doing work, but pretty much no one that I asked in the class really understood the purpose of the work, or no one understood exactly all the theory behind it. Or I was in classrooms where the adults and the students were all collectively feeling frustrated for almost the entire period. And so a big focus that I'm thinking about now is how do we define what it means to be a good teacher at Westport? How do we all push ourselves no matter where we are in our practice, if this is our first year teaching, if this is our 20th year teaching? Good instruction is good instruction, and how can we all be on more of a same page with each other and be consistent for kids? And also, how can we lift each other up and help each other to develop our practices?